Hi guys, I have an epic collection of fragrances today that are highly discounted and at the discounters for really great prices. And I'm going to go over them and talk to you about them in this video, let you know what they smell like. If you're in the market for any of these fragrances, you can take advantage of them. There are some tester deals here and there are some full presentation deals as well. And everything will be timestamp tagged. So if you like hearing about a product, you can click the chapter, go to that product or the fragrance. And of course, look to the left and the bottom. There should be a button. You can click that, opens up the window of, or it should be on the side panel of the collection of the fragrances, and you can shop from there all through YouTube shopping. So everything is timestamp tagged. I've pretty much resorted to fragrances that are some of my own favorite fragrances. And there are probably a few fragrances that I found really great deals on that I'm going to talk to you about. At the end of the video, after the outro, I also have a few fragrances that I found that I don't have, that I'm going to buy. Or by the time this video airs, I would have purchased them. And so later on, when I do a few more of these videos, I'll let you guys know about them once they're delivered. So let me know if you guys have found any special deals lately. Do add a comment below. Before I start with the fragrances, I want to mention that ScentFest SF is still gearing up to be a really awesome experience, an awesome show. So if you guys haven't gotten your tickets yet, please do. It's coming down the line. There's going to be some great experiences at the show, awesome brands you'll be able to meet, some perfumers that are coming, brand owners and everything, and of course the Osmotech. Awesome experience with the Osmotech. You'll be able to smell fragrances dating back to the Egyptian times. They have the recreated formulas of these fragrances. Egyptian times, some like from the 1200s, 1300s, a lot from around the 1700s to until the early 1900s. Lost, forgotten fragrances. You can only smell them at the Osmotech in Versailles, and it's appointment only. So they are bringing 25 of those fragrances, and they'll be at our show. So this is the first time they're doing a show in the USA. I'm excited, so grateful that they were agreeing to come, and you'll be able to experience these fragrances at the show among many other awesome experiences. So get your tickets. I have it linked in the info box, and I hope to see you guys at ScentFest SF. Now let's get started with the fragrances. All right. First fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is going to one of my favorite French houses. There's two really awesome discounted offerings from them that I found. The first one is MÉCANIQUE Intuitive from the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. I've spoken quite a bit about this one. I've never seen it at the discounter. It's 100 ml for $136. It's great price. Get it because it's normally 100 ml for $245. So you're saving more than $100 on this. This to me is kind of like their amber, but I kind of prefer this one a little bit more. It also reminds me a little bit of a really boozy take on Wajan. So it's a great fragrance. It's boozy, it's gourmandesque, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's resinous, it's ambery, a little bit nutty, but super delicious, guys. This one, definitely get it before it runs out. This is MÉCANIQUE Intuitive from the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. Super delicious. Normally it's $245. Get it for $136 as 100 ml, and you're saving more than $100 on that. So it's definitely worth it. The next fragrance, also from the same house, it's CEDRE SUPERFLUIDE, this one right here. So this one is currently selling for 100 ml for $170, and normally this sells for 100 ml for $295. So you are saving over $100. These are totally different fragrances, same perfumers, but this is a super woody fragrance and also super musky and very peppery, spicy. Very different. This is a bit more straightforward. Not a lot of like the booziness, the gourmandesque touches is not happening. But it's a really super sexy, woody, musky, spicy kind of fragrance. I really love the DNA in this. And so the price is really awesome. If you're looking for some Les Eaux Primordiales fragrances, these two are two of my favorites from the house. I actually really love the woodiness of this. And cedar fragrances sometimes do tend to go boring, but I like that this one has this really sexy DNA. I like the peppery spiciness, the muskiness, and all the woods. It's a bit on the dry side, but I think if you're looking for something not super exciting like the first fragrance, the MÉCANIQUE Intuitive, I think the CEDRE Superfluide is going to be awesome. So normally it's $295 for 100 ml. It's $170 for 100 ml. Both of these are great prices. Take advantage of those deals before they completely run out. So now we're going to the house of Costume National. So Costume National is going to be at ScentFest SF, guys. So if you are curious to discover this house, come check them out at ScentFest SF. It's an Italian house, and I've got two fragrances here that are highly discounted. First of which is called Supergloss. It's a rosy, fruity fragrance, 50 ml for $38. And I couldn't find a suggested retail price, the US dollar price, because the brand's not quite distributed here in the States. So what we've got is a really delicious, fruity, and I think there's a little bit of rose in here, and also a little bit of violet like touch, but very berry forward. And I think the color kind of gives you the idea of what the fragrance is going to smell like. And a 50 ml is $38. To me, it comes off a bit young. I'm just letting you guys know. Sometimes fruity fragrances do, but it's almost like it's young and also mature at the same time, because once you get past that fruitiness, it does get a bit rosy and a little bit of makeup lipsticky as well. There's some like waxiness in there that I'm getting, and that gives me that like lipstick waxiness that sometimes you can relate to that kind of an ingredient, if that makes sense. But it's very, very fruity and rosy and makeup-y to me. So that's Supergloss, 50 ml for $38. I think that's a great price if you're looking for something fun and playful while being a little bit serious and mature at the same time. But I do have one more fragrance from the house, Costume National. It's just called Scent. So I had never experienced Scent before. I was always a fan of Scent Intense. I feel like they are kind of somewhat related, but I think Scent is the fragrance that launched before Scent Intense. And I think Scent was created by a different perfumer. I think Scent Intense was created by Dominique Ropian, if I'm not mistaken. But this is kind of like a lighter version of it. It's spicy, it's a bit ambery, and it's a very original smell in fragrances. I haven't smelled fragrances like this before, which makes it a very unique offering. So it does have an ambery presence. It's a bit spicy. It's not super deep, but it does have a great smell. If you're not familiar with it, definitely check it out. To me, I feel like Costume National used to be a little bit more like Comme des Garçons like fragrances. Although some of their fragrances are not super out there like Comme des Garçons can be, but they almost were kind of in that line, whereas Comme des Garçons has fragrances and their fashions are super out there as well. Kind of similar with Costume National, although, like I said, Costume National is a bit more conventional rather than being super out there. But to me, Scent is totally a unique offering. If you haven't tried it, please do. That is selling for 100 ml for $58. And I couldn't find, prices for the USA on the Costume National fragrances. So to take advantage of those, and keep in mind, I've timestamp tagged all these products if you're looking for something, and you can just refer back to the product and click on it where you would find it on the left bottom. There's a little window, and that should open up your list of products that YouTube shopping. So next I'm going to go to the house of Miller Harris. I've got 3 fragrances from the house, really great prices. All 3 of them are suggested retail $245. The first one is $118. This is Legato. Are you guys familiar with Miller Harris? Let me know, add a comment below. Legato is selling for 100 ml for $118. Suggested retail price is $245 for 100 ml. This to me is super creamy and warm. It's a little bit ambery and a bit resinous. Honeyed is another word that comes to mind. And I feel like there's a little bit of smoke thrown in there as well. It's quite delicious. And there's definitely a creamy consistency in this. And very, very comforting. I feel like there's warm spices in this, like a cinnamony spice. It smells super delicious. Maybe there's some slight booziness, but I think it's just almost like butterscotch, but kind of honeyed butterscotch. It's super yummy, really, really warm, and We just moved the table. It's really, really warm and cozy, this particular fragrance. And it gives me a little bit of, warm holiday vibes. We're going into summer, but this can come in handy during the winter months. And it's that kind of a fragrance. It's warm. It's got a kind of a ambery experience, but there's definitely that kind of lactonic creaminess in there as well. So that's Legato from Miller Harris, 100 ml for $118, normally 100 ml for $245. So you're saving quite a bit of money on these fragrances. That's why I'm doing this deal focused fragrance. This next one is called Soufflot. It's also Miller Harris, as I said. It's $124, normally $245 for that 100 ml. And this is Soufflot, and this is also got a bit of a creaminess, but not so much tobacco. This is a bit more boozy, but there's also lots of amber in this. Totally different from one another, but there's definitely kind of sort of similarities between the two. This one to me seems a bit more gourmandesque, whereas Legato seemed a bit more tobacco-ish. But this also has a little bit of a butterscotchiness. They both have this creaminess, but they're very different smells, honestly. But this one, if you've ever sucked on a buttery kind of caramelly hard candy, and you can actually smell that creamy caramel butteriness, you actually smell it in this fragrance. That gives me that kind of a vibe. What are they called? Werthers, I think they're those little butterscotchy kind of or caramelly hard candies. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that, is what I'm trying to say. But obviously in perfume form here. But there's definitely a layer of creaminess with Soufflot. So that's Soufflot from the house of Miller Harris, 100 ml for $124. And this is also another one that I want to highlight. I think I highlighted this a few weeks ago. This is Celadon. And Celadon is a green tomato leaf focused fragrance. One of my favorites from the house. Absolutely love it, because I do enjoy tomato leaf note in fragrances. And it's super fresh, and I think this is perfectly appropriate for the coming warm season. If you're kind of wanting to step outside of the citrus fragrance, there's citruses here, but it does have a very green presence and a very tomato presence. The tomato leaves kind of do trick you a little bit of smelling like figs as well. So fig leaves is what I'm trying to say. But it's really, really great. It's super, super fresh compared to the previous two, which are more appropriate for winter wear or autumn wear. This one is really like a warm weather, freshy, going into the green direction, tomato leafy direction, but super awesome fragrance. Celadon is really, really great. And that is also $124, normally $245 for 100 ml. So I've got a tester here from the house of Caron next. It's Tabac Noir. This is not Tabac Exquis. I think I kind of hyped Tabac Exquis quite a bit. I really love Tabac Exquis, but Tabac Noir is also really great. It's a tobacco fragrance, but it's a bit more musky and a bit more subdued compared to the Tabac Exquis. I love Tabac Exquis. I wish they would make an extract of it because it's super awesome. But here with Tabac Noir, there's a sexy musky layer about it that lightly hints at something like Fumari Turk from Serge Lutens. So there's a tester of this 100 ml for $175. Normally 100 ml on the Caron website is $274. But Caron, I don't think ships from the USA. I think they ship from France. So there's probably $30, $40 shipping fee on top of the $274 price. And the thing with these fragrances from Caron also, they are refillable. So if you run out next time, you can actually buy a refill and it would cost you less. But Tabac Noir, if you're a fan of Fumari Turk, if you like that kind of muskiness, kind of honeyed but tobacco and musk kind of a thing, it's really yummy. I prefer Tabac Exquis a little bit more because it's super delicious and it's a combo of chocolate and tobacco, but this is a bit more old school, very, very sexy, kind of honey tobacco experience. Really great scent, by the way. So the tester is going for 175 and 100 ml. I do want to also let you guys know, recently I was in France and I sampled Atma from Caron. Atma is not on the list. I'm just letting you guys know. Atma was so super delicious. I bought it on the spot. It's created by the new Caron perfumer. It's Louise Turner, I believe, is the perfumer now, an in-house perfumer. And to me, it was super delicious. It's vanilla with white flowers and a very peppery spice. So good. You'll be hearing about Atma very soon, but I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a clue on what I bought when I was in France. I loved it so much. I just bought it because I like the combination of vanilla with white flowers and that very distinct peppery, spicy note that's in there. All right, let's move on to the house of, let's move on to the house of Gucci next. It's Muschio Mineralis. So there is a tester, 100 ml for $190. Normally 100 ml full presentation is $415. So you're saving more than 50% off on this. It's the Gucci Alchemist Garden Collection. Muschio Mineralis, so mineral musk. To me, it's got a very minerally presence, a bit metallic, but there's a warmth under there. And it's musk to me is generally very warm, slightly animalic, but also a bit of peppery spice. But it's very cozy, I think. So if you like the idea of this kind of warm, very enveloping kind of musky note with warm depth and peppery spice and that whole minerally experience, I think that's something you might enjoy. Slight bit of the peppery notes is giving me a slight bit of pencil shavings effect. Slight, not like super, because it's more peppery, but there's a little bit of that kind of woody character under there. But really loving the whole minerally contrast with the musky warmth. Really great scent. I don't know why my table keeps moving today. I'm going to have to make sure not to get too close to it. All right, next we're going to the house of Christian Louboutin. I've got 3 Christian Louboutin fragrances back to back that I'm going to talk to you about. First of which is LUBIPRINCE, this one right here. So these sell normally for $365 suggested retail. You can get a 90 ml for $150 for this LUBIPRINCE now. It's a great price, I think. So this to me gives me gourmand touches, but not super sweet. It's a bit more doughy. I think it's got tonka beans. It's just a very cozy, kind of almost marzipan-like texture, but not overdosed with the marzipan-like nuttiness that comes with marzipan. So if that makes sense to you guys. It's very warm. I think it's a very autumn kind of a fragrance, the way the fragrance smells and wears. The texture also. But it's a great price for LUBIPRINCE. 90 ml for $150 is a really, really great price because you're saving more than 50% off on that. Plus, it's a heavy duty bottle, really heavy duty. This thing weighs a lot. It's also very ornate. I think this is how it's supposed to be, like this. And it does have the shoe thing, the bottom of the shoes from Christian Louboutin. They use that inside the cap. And they have it on top a little bit as well. So yeah, that's Christian Louboutin, and it's LUBIPRINCE, 90 ml for $150. It's a great price on that one. Let's move on to LUBICROC next, which is this. This is $175 for a 90 ml. I don't know why these brands are starting to make different sizes, varying away from the conventional sizes, but they are. This is also $365 normally, but it's on sale for it's discounted down to $175. But you do get this very cool looking crocodile on top. And it does have, the crocodile's claws are made with that red, as you can see. And then inside there is always with that red So I have to be honest, this is not my favorite of the bunch. It's also quite woody, spicy, kind of warm, but it doesn't move me as a fragrance. I just love this crocodile on top of this. It's a very ornate, you know, presentation. The thing with these is I used to keep them outside of the box. And as I mentioned, the sheen on these kind of goes away from, I don't know, being out in the air or something. Because I don't use up fragrances that much, obviously. I'm mostly doing content here and using them up. But I had to put them away in the box. But I love the presentation. I love the crocodile in here. Once again, it's super heavy duty, but it's not one of my favorite offerings. It's a pretty straightforward, woody, kind of warm, spicy fragrance that it's not one that I really love. But I wanted to highlight it for you guys since it's available. And then the last one from Christian Louboutin is LOUBILUNA. This one right here. Now this one has a lot of the red stuff all over it, as you can see. It's all over it. And then we've got the inside of the cap as well. That's got that red sole material, shoe sole. So LOUBILUNA is another one that is not one of my favorites. And this one actually super reminds me of, well, actually I should take it back. It reminds me a little bit of Santal 33, but a bit more green Santal 33. Same price, 100 ml for $175, normally $345 for 100 ml. But to me, I think the winner is LUBIPRINCE. It's also cheaper. But if you like these kind of fragrances, I would jump on these because they're really great deals. And LOUBILUNA, if you like Santal 33, you might like this. To me, it does lean a bit more green. And I think if it does lean a bit more green, does that mean it goes a bit more pickle juicy? I don't know what you guys think, but that is not the one I'm highlighting. This one, LOUBILUNA. This one, like I said, has a lot more of that red on it, as you can see. And the presentation is pretty nice. I think I'm supposed to put it this way, though. I think that's how it's supposed to be. It is a bit confusing. There you go. So that is LOUBILUNA 90 ml for $175. Let's move on to the House of Nicolai, Parfumer Creator, or Parfums de Nicolai, and Pavlova, 100 ml for $117. Normally it's $235, so you're saving over $100 on this. This is also a fruity, kind of gourmandesque, warm, kind of a pineapple-focused fruity fragrance. I think if you're missing a fragrance like pineapple from Dolce & Gabbana, you might like this. Just giving you a heads up. I think pineapple from Dolce & Gabbana, which got discontinued, was a very popular offering. Was not so complex. It was pineapple, but it had some light depth to it. This one has a lot more depth, and it's super fruity. It gives me fresh pineapple vibes and also a little bit warm pineapple vibes, like especially when you do something like a pineapple upside down cake. It gets a bit caramelized. I'm not getting the caramelized, but it also has a bit more depth in comparison to just a fresh pineapple. But super yummy. If you're a fan of pineapple and fragrances and you like gourmands, definitely check out Pavlova. So that is selling for 100 ml at $117, normally $235 for 100 ml. We've got AFFINESSENCE Vanille Benjoin next, 100 ml for $186, normally 100 ml for $350. Vanilla and benzoin are a match made in heaven. Resin and vanilla together, because benzoin already has vanillic touches, but you also have its resinous qualities, maybe some slight smokiness as well. These are also two base notes. This is a base notes collection fragrance because AFFINESCENCE does fragrances with top notes collection, heart notes collection. The heart notes collection is one of my favorite fragrances from the house in the heart notes collection called, what was it called? Saffron Neroli. Now this one is the base notes collection because the two ingredients the fragrance is using, vanilla and benzoin, are part of the base notes. So it's a resin. It's amber, very resinous, but also vanillic, and it's a deep, rich, sweet, spicy, maybe a lightly smoky, but full-on amber, but really gorgeous, I think. Those of you that like fragrances like Bois d'Harmonie, might dig this because Bois d'Harmonie was focused on benzoin, but Bois d'Harmonie got discontinued, guys. So this might be a great alternative. So check it out. I don't think they smell identical, but I think it's a good alternative. So check that out. Effinescence Vanille Benjoin, 100 ml for $186, normally 100 ml for $350. And I'm highlighting this deal again. I've mentioned this a couple times, but I found a much better deal this time. It's Terenzi's Kirke. There's a tester for 100 ml for $100. So normally it's 100 ml for $325. This is a very popular fragrance, I think, from the house. Totally popular, don't you think? It's kind of like Erba Pura. This is Terenzi's Erba Pura. And it's fruity, it's spicy, it's woody, and a crowd pleaser, I think. A lot of people love this DNA. It's not one of my all-time favorite DNAs, but just giving you a highlight of the 100 ml. 100 ml for $100. If you are in the market for something like this, you can wear it in the summer. It's got a lot of depth. It's an extrait de parfum, so it's long-lasting as well. And you've got that fruitiness from the mango in here, but there's the spices, the woods, and ambery touches as well. So Kirke, 100 ml for 100 tester. So tester means you're not going to get full presentation. You're only going to get the bottle. So just be warned. But if you're just wearing the fragrance and you're going to throw the package away, why bother get the fragrance with the packaging as well? You know what I mean? All right, let's move on to the House of ETRO, which I don't speak much about. And I noticed these are selling, and I don't know what's going on with the brand as well. But there's two ETRO fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about. This is ETRO's Musk. Wait, I think I've listed down patchouli first. So let's talk about the patchouli. The patchouli, 100 ml for $95. It's an eau de toilette. Normally these are around $200 for 100 ml. And if you're in the market for a patchouli, you're a patchouli lover like me, this is a super boozy patchouli. It's resinous and ambery, slightly sweet and vanillic, but super duper earthy, woody, and sexy. There's the word, the sexy word. Patchouli is really super sexy for me. It's got great lingering power, great sillage, great trail and projection and things like that. So if you're looking for that, patchouli will do it for you. And it does a great job with this one. This is an eau de toilette, so it might be a little lighter than other fragrances that are in eau de parfum, but it's the wrong fragrance in the wrong box. There we go. But yeah, do you guys know the brand ETRO? I have a few ETRO fragrances. I haven't kept up because they used to sell them here at Barney's in the city, but Barney's just totally went out of business. Although I did hear that Barney's is trying to make a comeback in New York City. I don't know how true that is. But when I went to Japan, to Tokyo, there was a Barney's store there. So the second one is Musk by ETRO. And this is a simplistic kind of a skin scenty musk. I would say this is a bit more like white musk, but underneath it, there is that kind of authentic deer musk-like warmth. But I think this is very cozy, very skin scent, very enveloping, but somebody has to get close to you to smell you because that's that kind of a fragrance. But same thing with the ETRO Musk, like the ETRO Patchouli. It's 100 ml for $95. Did I write these prices down right? I said for patchouli, it's $95. It might be $90. And I've written down $90 for the musk. It might be $95. So just to clarify. But they are sold for around $200 for 100 ml. Anybody know what's going on with ETRO? Are they launching any new fragrances? If you're trying to build your collection with ETRO fragrances, now's the time to take advantage of those. The one ETRO fragrance that I miss is their vetiver, completely discontinued. It was a great vetiver fragrance, by the way. Now let's move on to the House of Perris Monte Carlo. This fragrance rarely goes on sale. It's one of their extracts. It's 50 ml for $216 for the Rose de Taif. Super long-lasting, kind of jammy, juicy rose, but I would remove the word juicy. It's more jammy because there's that texture, that depth. Juicy is, to me, very runny. This is more jammy. It's spicy, it's citrusy, it's rose overdose, and it smells fantastic. It's a great, great fragrance. One of my favorites. Although lately I haven't been wearing Rose de Taif as much. I'm wearing Vanilla Tahiti now because that stuff is super delicious. But this was my very first Paris Monte Carlo extract love. I absolutely love it. And to this day, this is my bottle for like, almost 10 years. It still smells great. Really, really love it. There is some spicy elements in there, but it's super sexy. If you're a rose lover, you got to get your nose on this if you haven't yet. Normally, this is $360 for this extract in the 50 ml. It's 50 ml for $216 now. So that's a great, great price. But let's move on to the next Paris Monte Carlo fragrance. This time it's Patchouli Nosy Bay. So Patchouli Nosy Bay is another patchouli that's sort of similar to the Etro, but there are some subtle differences. To me, this is a bit more woody and perhaps a little bit smoky as well. And it reminds me a little bit, or I shouldn't say it reminds me fully, but a little bit of it kind of reminds me a little bit of Zagorsk from Comme des Garçons. It's got that kind of woodiness. So I feel like this has a little bit less patchouli. I think I have the extract as well, but the extract is not selling. So this is 100 ml for $95, normally 100 ml for $210. But is it my favorite patchouli? I much prefer the Etro, that kind of patchouli, like psychedelic, reminiscence. This one, to me, it is about patchouli, but there's also other things that are kind of competing with the note of patchouli in this. So you're smelling a lot of other things as well. And this one also, Patchouli Nosy Bay, is not ambery. The Etro patchouli is ambery, like psychedelic from Javoy, like reminiscence patchouli. But it is 100 ml for $95, so maybe you don't want that patchouli depth. You want some woods and spices along with it, then you can go with something like Patchouli Nosy Bay. So next, well, I should say the Patchouli Nosy Bay is 100 ml for $95, normally 100 ml for $210. But the next fragrance, it's Etat Libre de Orange's Rien Intense Incense, 100 ml for $92, normally 100 ml for $190. So you're saving about 50% on this one. And this is definitely super beastly, super intense, old school reminiscence kind of fragrance. Like, to me, this reminds me of Kouros intensified with a lot of smoky incense and resins. And the aldehydes in here reminds me of the aldehydes in Kouros. There's a little bit of a acidity presence. It's dark, it's smoky, it's dirty, it's animalic. It used to be one of my all-time favorites. Still is. It's quite daring for a fragrance, I think. If you're not into daring fragrances, stay away from this one, but it's really, really great. And if you love 80s powerhouse fragrances like Kouros or maybe, what's it called from Chanel, Antaeus, definitely try this. It's really great. I think, but although I should say it's more like Kouros than Antaeus, but just the fact that Antaeus is also animalic. So Rien Intense Incense from Etat Libre de Orange is super, super awesome. Check that out for $92 for 100 ml. Normally 100 ml for $190. But this next fragrance is from the house of the Spirit of Dubai. It's called Turath. And there is a tester online for $139. Normally this sells for $275. So you are getting about 50% off. And in my collection, this is one of the most complex wearing fragrances. The fragrance has so much depth. It's like, wow. Like you can literally like experience the depth of this fragrance. There's so much going on. It's sweet, it's fruity, gourmand notes. It has a very Middle Eastern presence. It's super complex. It's got a lot of depth. It's spicy, it's woody, fruity. When you first spray it, it does give you a whole Middle Eastern effect of Middle Eastern style fragrances. Then it starts developing into very, very complex experiences. And the fragrance keeps developing and developing. Definitely one of my favorites from the house. And I don't have anything besides this. So it's great. The 100 ml for 50 ml for $139 is a great price because these are pretty expensive fragrances. So this is another one that I had kept it out of the box. this stuff is like the sheen or the quality is kind of, you know, it's diminishing, I should say. It's no longer like that shiny, pristine kind of look anymore. So that is Turath from the Spirit of Dubai, 50 ml for $139. Now we've got Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace. This is 100 ml for $75 in a tester. So these are now normally 100 ml for $170. A tester is probably not going to come with a box. Most likely it won't come with a box. But sometimes they actually provide you with a nondescript box, not the same presentation, because it is a tester. So it doesn't have the printing on it. It has just basic written on there. It's like, you know, By the Fireplace. And By the Fireplace is one of the most popular fragrances from Maison Margiela replica collection. It's also really, really great. It's kind of sweet, it's ambery, it's resinous, it's a bit nutty, boozy maybe, but also smoky. The name is so good for this fragrance. It really does paint a picture, and you've got this very warm, cozy fragrance. Really awesome. Yeah, if you are a fan of warm, cozy, ambery, smoky fragrances. I should say that smoke is not as smoky as I think smoky fragrances can be, but there is that kind of a smoky depth in here. 100 ml for $75 is a great price for this. As I said, normally it's 100 ml for $170. Now I'm hoping that they still, now that they launched their luxury collection, I'm hoping that they do something with making stronger concentrations of some of their more popular ones. Like if they can make a parfum concentration of By the Fireplace, that'd be so cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, 100 ml for $75 for the By the Fireplace, normally 100 ml for $170. All right, just a few more fragrances to go. Next, we're talking about Tom Ford's Oud Wood in a 50 ml bottle. Normally, it's $300 for the 100 ml. It's almost 50% off for $163 for a 50 ml. So Oud Wood is definitely one of Tom Ford's most popular private blend collection fragrances. And it's a spicy take on an oud accord. Lots of woods, lots of spices, maybe some amber in the base as well. It's just a really pleasant oud accord experience. I think it's been copied a lot by other brands because I was telling somebody recently, Tom Ford used to be quite niche when I first got into this. They had a lot of great niche leaning fragrances because, you know, designers weren't doing them. Now I think everything is kind of blending. So, but this fragrance is quite solid. Once again, it's not my all-time favorite from the house. So I mean, I like it, but it's not one that I pull for a lot. Does that make sense? But I think it's pretty popular and it's a great price for $163 in a 50 ml. That's Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And then we've got two fragrances from the house of Houbigant, and then this will be over. First fragrance is Quelques Fleurs, the original, which is 100 ml for $87, normally 100 ml for $250. And this fragrance dates back to the early 1900s, so it's a classic historic fragrance, by the way. It's floral, lots of flowers, Quelques Fleurs. It's also very old school. There is a warmth and depth under it, lots of spices. Maybe there's some aldehydic touches, but the flowers are pretty prominent. Very classic, very old school. You might be into more modern fragrances, but if you dig the classics, maybe that might satisfy. So that is Quelques Fleurs L'Original, as you can see down there. So that is priced at 100 ml for $87, normally $250 for the 100 ml. And last but not least, we've got Houbigant's Rose du Desert. That is also 100 ml for $90. Normally, it's 100 ml for $250 at the suggested retail price at the, at the department stores. And Rose du Desert, it's a quite dry, dusty rose fragrance. Sorry, gang, I had to pause there. There was an interruption. But this is it's rose. It's a bit citrusy, but lots of woods. It's on the dry and dusty side. So I think the name Rose du Desert is giving me a certain kind of a vibe. Not one of my all-time favorites, but it is a fairly new fragrance from the house, and highlighting it for you guys in case you've been in the market for this. So that's Rose du Desert from the house of HOUBIGANT, and that's the last fragrance. There's a lot here, so take advantage of these deals. And I should also say now, sometimes by the time the video goes up, the deals are gone, so I apologize. I do my best to tag the product as discounted as I can. So if the product is not there for that price, I apologize, but you know, these are constantly changing. So I shoot the videos and then I air the videos about 2-3 days after. But let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Have you worn them? Have you been wanting to wear them? Do add a comment below so I can find out. I'm going to do a video on Atma soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be a short on the Shorts channel or if it's going to be a full video, but I'll decide in a few days. But Atma is so good, really, really great. I'm glad I bought it, and I'll let you know. I might have already done a video or mentioned it in a video, but anyway, we'll do something on that. It's a great scent. Hopefully you guys can get your nose on it. But also, as I say, don't forget to get your tickets to ScentFest SF. It's going to be epic. We've got some great things happening, and I hope you guys are going to come and we can meet there at the show. Awesome brands, awesome experiences, and a great time on June 26, 27, and 28. So thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click the bell icon, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. And don't forget to stick around. I've got a few fragrances that I found as deals I don't own yet, and I'm going to purchase them by the time this video goes up. See you later. Bye-bye. All right, we've got some fragrances that I've discovered that I want to have in my collection, and I'm going to buy them. By the time this video airs, it will be purchased already, and I will mention them in videos like this in the future once I have them. So the first two fragrances I'm going to talk to you about are Jean Patou fragrances. I think this brand is going to be completely gone. There is some stock out there, and I'm buying these two fragrances because they're fairly cheap. These are the relaunch of the brand, not the originals. So this is Jean Patou Vacances. So I think they relaunched some fragrances probably early to mid 2010s. Then LVMH came and bought them, bought Jean Patou, and I think they basically killed the brand, and they launched their own version of Joy. But the first fragrance is Jean Patou Vacances, 100 ml for $65. I don't have a suggested retail price for it. That is a great price, but because most likely this will be like around $200. So I'm excited to have that. It does say it's created by Thomas Fontaine, a perfumer that has done a lot of, what's the brand? Hold on. So Thomas Fontaine has done fragrances for Lubin, and this fragrance specifically is done by him. This is Corrigan, an awesome scent that I don't talk too much about, but he did that fragrance. So Thomas Fontaine is the president of the Osmotek. And I was mentioning Osmotek earlier. He will be at our show. He created Vacances from Jean Patou, and he will be heading the Osmotek setup in our show at ScentFest SF. So I'm buying Vacances, 100 ml for $65. It's supposed to be green, floral. And then the next one I'm buying is Do Amour. That's 100 ml for $60. I can't remember if this was also created by Thomas Fontaine, but these are in the new bottles, so it was the relaunch of the older fragrances. So those I'm ordering. The next one I'm ordering is Calvin Klein's Eternity Amber Essence Parfum Intense. 100 ml for $55. Normally 100 ml around $130. I actually smelled this last year in Europe, early on when they first launched. It was Calvin Klein. I thought, okay, I'm going to find them for deals online. I don't see much until now. Now that I see it, I'm going to pick it up because I do enjoy some designer offerings, and it would be nice to talk about on the channel. If you've gotten your nose on this or any fragrance I've discussed here that I haven't, owned yet, let us know. Add a comment below. Then the last fragrance I'm buying is another Christian Louboutin, but this time in the Fetish collection. Small bottle with that pointiness. I have the Amber, which I absolutely love. Love that fragrance. It's a green tuberose amber fragrance. Contrast is amazing. the greenness and the creaminess of the tuberose. Very modern tuberose, by the way, because I've been mentioning I'm not into vintage tuberose lately, which is weird. It's bothering me, but I love vintage fragrances. So the Fetish L'Ombre is great. Sadly, that's not available at the discounter. I didn't see it because I think it's pretty popular. But the one I'm buying is Lavande Fetish. Lavender is having a moment, right? Lots of lavender-focused fragrances out. So this is 80 ml for $135. Normally 80 ml for $250. So I'm saving $115 on that. It's a great price because I paid around $250 for the amber. Anyway, those are the 4 fragrances I'm buying. I'm going to get them, and as soon as I get them, I'll talk to you guys about them. If you've owned them and you like them, let us know. What are your thoughts on Jean Patou Vacances and Dos Amour? Add a comment below, and see you guys later. Bye-bye.